Hello all. It has been a long time since I did my Msx Russian pad review. So very long time. As you can see, I've added another wheel to my stable. I'll talk about that one later. But as an update, and I tried to make some notes this time, but no guarantees. It's probably going to be just like my last video, which is to say long and kind of all over the place. In any case, hopefully you find some of this information helpful. So, just in general, do I still like these Russian pads? Do I still love them? Yes, I still love them. They're really great pads. Overall thoughts on them, like, would I buy them again? Yes, I would buy them again. I think they're worth the money. I think you might be able to get them for a little bit less than I paid for initially, which was like $185 if I remember correctly. Let's see. So bear with me. So some of the issues that I've had with these pads are that the bolstering on the inside, like the amount of pad that you actually push against, to me was just like it wasn't thick enough. It wasn't enough, especially in the back. And I can go into more detail about that in a minute. But basically, so the issues so basically, like, I rode the pads for a while, and then I think it was actually this wheel that I started to get a little more confident with kind of DIYing stuff, and also after making my seat, which I'll make a video on. It is amazing and night and day compared to the old seat. But in any case, or to the original seat, I should say. Especially now that, anyway, so basically, like, my problem was that because the pad are thin, and so, like, you look at a calf, right? And on the front, you have your shin, right? Which is, like, solid, it's bone. But on the back, you have a lot of meat and calf, and it takes up a lot more, like, surface area than, like, the front of your shin, basically. So because they made the pads, like, the same, they kind of made them jut out the same amount, right? The bolstering the same. Eventually, I constantly just felt like I was slipping by the pads when I was braking. Not that bad, but it was like enough. I can't remember. It's been a while, but it was enough that it was like, it was uncomfortable, and I wanted to do something about it. I was like, I can't just be slipping by, And so basically the problem is that when you're braking, you're going against this small area with a big chunk of meat, right? Whereas, like, when I'm accelerating, like, directly, like, when I'm accelerating, my shin kind of just, like, goes right into the thing. So it makes this pad side or whatever, like, it makes more sense in the front because I'm just going directly with my shin. If I squeeze the wheel a little bit and then I push into the pad, it's not really going to slip, but whereas the meat of my calf, there's not really anything to, like, grip on this, just kind of, like, slip past it. So eventually, what I did is I took a 1/4-inch neoprene, and this is inspiration from all my EUC buddies here in Seattle and the surrounding area, basically. They kind of, like, turned me on to the idea of neoprene, and it is definitely nice to have, I'll tell you. But yeah, so I took 1/4-inch neoprene, and it had adhesive on the back, and I put it on this on the pad, like, stuck it to the leather pad, and then I, like, cut around it, trimmed it so that it looks basically the same, or at least close enough. So I did that, and then I used gaffer tape. And if you're not familiar with what gaffer tape is, it's basically like, it's like a fabric tape. They use it like at concerts or stuff like that, where they have like cords and stuff like that going on the floor, and like they'll like tape them down with gaffer tape or whatever. Anyway, it's really amazing tape. You can get it at Amazon. I highly recommend it. I can put a link in the description for the stuff that I've been buying, which I found has worked well. It comes in some slightly different color variants. Actually, I think a lot of different color variants, but I just get like the black or whatever. So anyway, so I used gaffer tape, taped it on, whatnot, and I have used this wheel pretty like intensely, and it has not budged. So the gaffer tape and everything has done a great job. So this pad expansion was so nice. Like when I put it here, it was just like my calf just would feel like it was getting stopped by the pad, you know, instead of kind of it sort of slipping by or having that worry or whatever. It was really nice. It was a good addition. There was literally no negative. The only negative for a while was before I added pad here, because it looked kind of asymmetric or whatever. You had like this fat area here and a skinny area in the front, and so it didn't look as appealing. And sometimes you lean against the wall, the wheel would want to like kind of like tilt in, you know, to whatever, you know, because it was asymmetric. So that was basically the only downside. But in my mind, I was like, God, I get so much more function from this. Like I know that I feel like it would just be better all around for everything. The only thing is it just doesn't look as appealing. So I had, you know, the pad stock in the front. I was okay with that for quite a while. And then eventually, and I just didn't want to have to tackle this because it's so much bigger and yeah, you know. So eventually I decided I wanted to do it. So I did the same thing as this, you know, neoprene, stuck it on, trimmed it around, 1/2 inch neoprene, same exact stuff. And like slapped it on there and taped it on. And it helped. I wouldn't say the difference was as like just drastic in my peace of mind and stuff as this was. But it was a noticeable difference. And let's see. So that was all great. And those are basically, that's the only thing that I've really done to these pads. I don't think I've done anything else. Yeah, I haven't done anything else to these pads. But the issue that I have with the front pad is that when I'm sitting on it, it bows my legs out a little bit more because there's, you know, this extra big piece of neoprene. And so my foot doesn't contact the pedal as well. I contact it not as well. And I've kind of learned to live with it, but I think one day what I might do is I'll buy 1/4 inch neoprene, and maybe that will be the best of both worlds, where I get more power pad, more stuff to push against, while also getting a little bit, you know, not having my leg be kind of bowed out by this. The other thing somebody was suggested is I could cut off a large portion of the neoprene and just keep the area that's really essential for the power pad. Now I could do that, but I'm not sure that would totally help. I'm not totally convinced because I feel like my leg's still going to rest against this. So I don't know. I'll figure something out. But for right now, I'm just living with it and it's fine. It works. But something to keep in mind of, if you make power pads and you make them wide and you want to sit on the wheel, it will kind of bow your legs out a little bit, which can be uncomfortable. And that's one thing I definitely missed from having the original pad, is that my leg just felt like it, you know, it was just it was more comfortable. Better peace of mind. So yeah, so that's basically what I've done. Let's see. Yeah, in the current state, they're great. As power pads and stuff, just wonderful. Having more surface area here is really, really nice. I totally recommend it. You know, it's a good amount of work. You can put in at least a few hours to like cut it. You know, depending on, maybe you can take less time, but I assume it would take a few hours to cut the neoprene, you know, trim it nice, and then just like tape it and stuff like that. A note on neoprene, a note on gaffer tape, the reason I use it is because, I don't know if I touched on this in another video or if I said it earlier, but it's really, really nice because I think it adds some abrasion resistance so that the foam doesn't immediately rip on impact, as I've seen with foam in the past. So I think it's good for that. I haven't had any too major crashes. I've had little like spills and stuff, and I do think it protects it. In this case, there's literally just the neoprene under that, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, so yeah, I put for abrasion resistance. As you can see, I put it all over my wheel. And let's see what else. Yeah, so I put it all over my wheel. And I do think that it helps, but the other thing that's nice about it is that it's really easy to clean. You know, cleaning the foam and stuff like that, I don't know. You know, it's just got a lot of grooves and stuff. Maybe gunk gets in there, hard to clean out. And here in Seattle, it's just like wet weather a lot, so gunk accumulates in these areas, and then obviously all along the back. And it's just easier. It's easy to clean off, So there's that. So that's really, really nice. So yeah, so that's basically it. There's some other stuff I could talk about. But I don't know if I should talk about it in this video because it make it like too long. Maybe I'm missing some stuff, but if you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments. Let me know. Let me see. Is there anything else about these? Oh, I think that to buy them, I think the way that I listed in the description in the past is still like a good way of getting them. But you can also just go to, I'm pretty sure you can go directly to the Instagram Mono Customize, which I did link in my last video. And pretty sure they'll sell to you directly. Because like when I contacted them a while back, I think they offered, they told me how much they were and stuff. Like I'm pretty sure you can buy from them directly. And I think I'm pretty sure they're the ones that make the pads. So in any case, I think all that should be still valid. And yeah, and I think I might make another video just talking about some other updates that I've done to this wheel. Yeah, because I mean there are some additional things that I don't think I had on there before. So I'll make a little video kind of outlining those different things. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Again, if you guys have any questions, just let me know in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, really good pads. Totally recommend them. I think they're about the same price as Clark pads. I didn't talk about that, but about the same price as Clark pads. But these are more comfortable than Clark pads. Now there are things that you can do to make the Clark pads more comfortable. You can put this kind of foam on Clark pads. A number of people here in Seattle that have the Clark pads I've seen do put foam on it to make it more comfortable, but I don't think that you're going to beat how nice and cushy this pad setup is, especially this area, because I didn't cover it in any tape or anything. It's definitely really spongy, and it's nice. It feels really, really nice. So yeah, anyway, these pads offer good comfort and good functionality, even without the modification. Easy to take on, easy to take off. The Velcro on the back is stitched on. It's not adhesived on, so it's never going to come off, and I haven't had that problem at all. And yeah, they've held up pretty good in the time. I mean, I've got like 3,600 miles on this wheel. I don't know how many I had before when I made my last video. I assume it was less than 1,000, but I'm not sure. Anyway, they've held up really, really nicely. And I have had a few little scratches on here, but you use leather conditioner and stuff like that, and you kind of work it in there for a while. You can make it look a lot better, But that's kind of nature of the beast. I don't know if people nitpick about it as much as I do, but this is basically my off-road. This is my off-road and other stuff wheel. This is more just like my delivery and just street wheel. But anyway, I'll talk about that more later. But that's pretty much the video. Thanks a lot for watching, and yeah.